Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, police seize AK-47 rifle in Hanover. The Hanover police seized an AK-47 rifle with a magazine containing 9 rounds of ammunition on Tuesday. The police say they were on operation in Montpelier, Sandy Bay, Hanover, about 3:48 p.m. when the seizure was made. No one was taken into custody in relation to the seizure. The police say their investigations are continuing. NCDA continues push to discourage children from using illicit substances. The National Council on Drug Abuse says it remains on the lookout for new and emerging substances which may put students at risk given the high usage of illicit substances such as edibles, ganja and alcohol by primary and secondary students. The NCDA says through its recently launched early warning system, it has been actively working to discourage students from using illicit and harmful drugs. Regional Manager Janet Roberts-Bowen notes that there is no specific cohort using these substances as it is observed among a mix of persons, including adults. We have children from primary school who are using. We have children in secondary school and adults, so it's a wide range. Only the surveys would now be able to identify percentage from the different cohorts, but we are seeing a mix of persons who are actively using, indicating to us that the message is not impacting as much, she lamented. She said the NCDA's Operation Lighthouse program seeks to address these issues by building life skills among families. Mrs. Roberts-Bowen was speaking at the launch of a mentorship program at the Chantilly Primary and Infant School in Manchester on Monday. The NCDA has been engaging several agencies to help detect and test the new substances in an effort to alert schools and the parents about drug use among children. It has also been working to avoid and reduce the risk of drug use and potential abuse to children and adults. Music producer on murder charge granted $800,000 bail. 27-year-old music producer Shaquille Hudson, who is accused of the 2021 fatal shooting of a man in his community of Whitehall Avenue in St. Andrew, was released on bond when he appeared before the Gun Court Division of the St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday. Hudson, popularly known as Goose, was offered bail in the sum of $800,000 to return to court on May 29. Hudson is charged with the murder of 23-year-old Troy Beckford, a resident of Collins Close off Whitehall Avenue. Prosecutors reported that on December 29, 2021, Beckford and Hudson were involved in a dispute in their community. It's alleged that Hudson pulled a firearm and shot Beckford. Prosecutors reported that the music producer boarded a flight 2 weeks later and left the island. He returned to Jamaica in February and was preparing to board an outgoing flight at the Norman Manley International Airport on February 6 when he was arrested by the police. During Tuesday's bail hearing, his attorney Richard Lynch denied the claims by prosecutors that Hudson was a flight risk. He argued that his client was overseas producing music and was not aware that he was being sought for the murder of Mr. Beckford. Relatives and friends remember cop killed while trying to assist injured woman, suspect killed in reported gunfire. A pall of grief hung over the South Trelawney community of Litchfield on Tuesday as the loved ones of slain constable Ricardo Fairclough struggled to cope with his murder. Fairclough, who was assigned to the St. Anne Divisional Operational Support Unit, was shot in St. Anne's Bay on Monday night. It is being reported that he was on Bravo Street in the St. Anne capital when an armed man shot and injured a woman. While attempting to assist the woman, Fairclough was shot in the upper body by the gunman, who then fled on foot. The cop died while receiving treatment at the hospital, while the woman is said to remain in critical condition. On Tuesday, the news visited Fairclough's family in Litchfield, where his brother Wayne bemoaned the greater loss of his youngest sibling. The 45-year-old police constable, who was a devoted Christian, was also described as a beam of sunlight. While explaining that he shared a loving relationship with his younger brother, Wayne said that his murder has left him in utter shock. "This is my first time experiencing something like this. I was married before and my wife died, but it still did not feel like this. This is very shocking," he said. Pointing out that the slain officer was born and raised in Litchfield, Wayne recounted that his family was alerted to the news by a niece in St. Anne. My niece called in the family group and broke the news to everyone at the same time. We heard that he got shot, but it was not fatal, and then about 20 minutes after we heard that he died, Wayne said. Wayne explained that his brother, a father of two, moved from Trelawney to the neighboring parish at age 18 in search of a brighter future. He got a work in Jacksal where they do polo. He found his wife in St. Anne and they got married in 2001. I don't remember what year he went into the police force, but he has been working in St. Anne Police Division for some time, Wayne told the news. He was our youngest brother, so he was the baby of the family. This is a great loss, he lamented. Other relatives of the slain constable have been left devastated. People always say that the younger ones will bury the older ones, but now we have to bury the younger one, and it is not a good feeling. Right now, one of our sisters is not doing well. She wouldn't even be able to talk to you because she has been crying since last night, Wayne said. For family friend Winston Ellis, the memories of time shared with Fairclough will live on. Ellis told the news that he knew Fairclough for more than 4 decades and spoke glowingly of their shared passion for Christianity. This is a very sad news to hear that he's gone and gone in that form of way. He was trying to save another life and lost his. We used to talk regularly and I would visit his home to talk. We feel it to our hearts. This is a sad news for everyone. We never look for this though, no time at all, Ellis said. Tears come on my eyes because we grow together. We up and down from basic school. For Karen Fairclough, the slain constable's sister-in-law, the news was equally devastating. I am feeling very disturbed right now. We were not looking for this. He was a very jovial person. He was someone we could talk to. He was always talking about church, she said. She said she would never forget his passion for religion. I remember the last time we were in church. We had a week of meetings at the Waitabit Pentecostal Church, and during last year's Youth Week, he came there for 2 nights to give his testimony, she recounted. The day after, we were in fasting and he was there encouraging us. He was that type of person. He was very passionate about God, and he was always willing to share the word, Karen added. In the meantime, Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake has called for a high-level probe into Fairclough's murder. On Tuesday afternoon, a man suspected to have been involved in his murder was shot and killed during a confrontation with the police in Steertown, St. Anne. The deceased has been identified as Seraldo Butler. According to the police, a pistol was removed at the scene. The Jamaica Constabulary Force said that both the Independent Commission of Investigations and the Inspectorate Professional Standards Oversight Bureau have been notified about Tuesday's incident. For his part, National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang expressed their condolences to Fairclough's family. Constable Fairclough was an outstanding young police officer who demonstrated a level of professionalism. He was a special and dedicated young man in our law enforcement team, said Chang. Curtis overwhelmed by a visitor from Charles's. Former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Pernell Charles Sr., sprung a surprise visit on former clerk to the Houses, Valerie Curtis, days before her retirement at the Gordon House in Kingston. Curtis became clerk of the Houses, while Charles was the presiding officer for the lower house. When she retired, I went and bid her goodbye and told her thanks, Charles told the news on Monday. He said his daughter Dr. Michelle Charles, current member of Parliament for St. Thomas Eastern, accompanied him on his visit. I had a proper working relationship with both Miss Curtis and the previous clerk. I did not have a problem with them. I wish her well in her retirement, he said. Charles said jokingly that he did not want to get in hot water with his Jamaica Labour Party colleagues. The fact that she has some problems with the present speaker could not prevent me from expressing my appreciation for the time she served with me, Charles said. Describing the moment when Charles surprised her, Curtis said, more than all, I was there after 5 p.m. and I heard a rap on my door, and when I looked, it was a former Speaker Pernell Charles, followed by his daughter, who is now MP, and he brought in a cake and said, Happy retirement, Miss Curtis. I was overwhelmed. Curtis also received a letter from the Executive Director and the Commissioners of the Integrity Commission, who expressed their gratitude for the services she offered to the country's Parliament. We wish for you good health, happiness, and all that's best in your retirement, the leadership of the IC said.